Listen, it's extraordinary to be back here in Northfield. There is no better example of our ability to pull together, where neighbors help take care of neighbors, strangers take care of strangers, a community pulls together and takes on adversity. Northfield is a living example of how we're going to rebuild this state better than the way Irene found us. This is an example of how we're going to get even with her, better, stronger, and more prepared for the future. I want to give a hand to the people of Northfield who are here today for their extraordinary team effort in pulling together from adversity. We're Vermont Proudy. Let's give them a hand. I'm honored to be joined by Congressman Peter Welch, as well as representatives of Senator Leahy and Senator Sanders' office. Ted Brady's here, Jeff Munger. Congressman Welch and the Congressional Delegation, since Irene, have proved once again that Vermont has the best Congressional Delegation in America. And I just can't say how grateful we are to all the work we've done to bring the money home, and this announcement today is a piece of that. So thank you so much. Let's give this time. So let me just make a few comments about where we are. Shortly after the flood, we all came together at this fire station. We toured the tremendous devastation in Northfield, and I will never forget being on Water Street and walking into Mr. Trombley's house. Where is Mr. Trombley? Thank you for joining us today. Mr. Trombley was down visiting his wife just down the street because she's not able to live in his house at this time. So what's the facility down there called, Mr. Trombley?
Mayo Nursing Home.
The nursing home, what's it called?
Mayo. Nursing Home.
Yeah. Mayo, thank you. Mayo Nursing Home. And his son and others were in there mucking out the house. And there was a huge number of people from the community there helping out. And Mr. Trombley was a collector of clocks. And he had an extraordinary collection that he built up over the years, all of which had been severely damaged in Irene. But it was one of the hundreds and hundreds of examples we've seen across the state since the spring flooding of someone who had spent their lifetime with their wife and family, building a home, collecting things that they cared about. Every material thing that they cared about was in that home, and anything that wasn't on the second floor was destroyed. And we all knew that it would be unlikely, that it would be wise to return to that home, ever, because it had been flooded before, and with a climate change future, it's clear that it would get flooded again. So what we're here to announce today is, because of the extraordinary work of our Congressional Delegation, our FEMA team, and all our folks in Washington, as well as the extraordinary work of our Irene recovery team and this local community, the announcement of state, federal mitigation dollars of almost $20 million that's going to help people like Mr. Trombley ensure that he gets reimbursed for his home and that it will never be lived in again, so that some future family might get flooded out. What this program is all about is drawing down federal dollars to allow communities to come together and determine whether it's a home, a business, or infrastructure where we should never rebuild again. We've made a promise. We're going to rebuild this state better than the way Irene found us. This program makes it possible. Now we are going to just introduce very briefly Bonnie and Michael Pemberton, who are a great example of why this development today is so important in our recovery effort. So Bonnie and Michael, if you're willing to come on up, thank you so much. Just say a word about your story so that people understand what's happening. Where the rubber hits the road.
Where the rubber hits the road. Well, as you all know why we're here is why we took a toll on all of us in our neighborhood. The only thing I can say is hopefully we can move forward with this. As we all witnessed, it was a day that just, I don't know how to put it. It was a day that I would, when you see the water, when you see your house just turn into a virtual nothing there anymore when you go back, it's phenomenal. But I just want to say, as Chris said, thank you to our highway department, our fire department, our friends, our neighbors, Norwich University, Sedesco, everybody involved, FEMA, the governor. I mean, it's just without this, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be going forward as we hopefully will work. And again, just thank you very, very much, everybody, for all you've done, and good luck to the neighbors. Thanks, Frank.
Here, but you know, we had friends that literally poured in. They took a week off from work just to come to help. Co-workers that came by droves every day. They'd send different teams from my place of employment, and just the outpour of folks coming that you didn't even know. We had out-of-staters in our basement digging the mud out. People that were just generous with any form of way that they can help. And the hardest thing I think it's been for us is the fact that we've had to move and live in strange homes and not have our own comfortable stuff. But eventually we will, and we want to thank everybody.